This is the CBC Morning Report for today, Thursday, June 8th. Good morning. I'm Tisha Hines. In the headlines at this time, there are doubts this morning that the social compact can hold much longer. Professor Justin Robinson, Pro-Vice Chancellor for the UWI Board for Undergraduate Studies, speaking to the CBC Morning Report, says he isn't sure if the private sector and the 48 items which they have in the basket can hold out against the external pressure much longer.
These firms have been holding strain in terms of holding the margins on these items. And it's not clear to me that the government has a policy tool outside of reducing some of its own taxes or other levies on the goods so as to reduce the cost coming to these suppliers. But of course, those reductions in any taxes or levies also have knock-on effects on the government's budget, and the government still has to meet its fiscal targets. So I don't see any win-win solution to this in the near to medium term. And I am not optimistic about measures like the compact holding significantly longer. The World Bank raised its 2023 global growth outlook as the United States, China, and other major economies have proven more resilient than forecast. The World Bank cut its 2024 global growth forecast to 2.4% from 2.7% back in January, citing the lagged effects of the central bank monetary tightening. But the bank released a new 2025 global growth forecast of 3%. I would say the major factor leading to an improved forecast is the reduction in inflationary pressures. The data coming in the last month or two has shown inflation slowing in the major advanced economies. So while inflation is still high, inflation is slowing. What that means is that the likelihood that major central banks around the world, in Europe, the UK, the USA, that they're going to keep increasing their interest rates as a means of fighting inflation. Because as they increase interest rates, credit becomes more expensive, and all of these factors combine to enhance the likelihood of a recession. So the fact that the inflationary pressures are easing, it means that further rate hikes from major central banks appear less and less likely, hence the improved economic outlook.
The professor says, however, despite the lag which the local economy will have, the revised global economic predictions are still good news.
I would certainly expect, and we see it in the report, that the economic growth forecast for Barbados has been revised upwards with the new information. So I think that certainly is an improvement that we will see this year. One of the features we've seen is that the recovery in global travel and tourism has been stronger than expected, so that's quite good for Barbados. We also seem to be getting some momentum in the government and private sector capital works. So I certainly expect to see improvements and momentum to continue on the economic growth front. And I think that is extremely important because the Barbados economy really 2017, 18, 19, 20, the economy recorded negative growth. And then you had the massive hit of COVID. So this recovery in economic growth is just urgently needed medicine for Barbados. So I think I expect to see significant improvements in that area. Now, on the inflationary front, we may not see that improvement in the near term because that really is driven by factors external to Barbados. I mean, people talk about import costs push inflation. We import most of our inflation, and there's going to be a lag before we see those improvements. And how long these private profit-oriented companies can hold to a compact where they're keeping margins despite rising costs, I think is certainly questionable.
Coming up on the CBC Morning Report, an update on Canadian wildfires.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
Hundreds of wildfires are burning in what has been described as an unprecedented start to the 2023 Canadian fire season. Tens of thousands of people in communities across the country have been forced to evacuate as firefighters battle to contain the blazes that have scorched more than 9.4 million acres so far. The emergence of smoke-filled, discolored skies in parts of Canada and the United States that typically aren't affected by wildfires has spurred widespread public concern.
This is not what the skies of New York are supposed to look like. The Lady of Liberty holds her breath as the city vies with New Delhi to be the world's most polluted. Visible from space, the plume stretches for more than 1,000 kilometres from Quebec's eastern forests in Canada to the Blue Ridge Mountains of Virginia in the US. It's prompted air quality warnings for millions of people.
Over 50% of the U.S. population, everything east of Columbus, Ohio, is experiencing levels on the order of 150 to 180, which is an air quality index, suggesting that these are very hazardous levels to be breathing.
At the source of the smoke in eastern Canada, the situation is even worse. In fact, Canada's had its worst start to a fire season on record, with Nova Scotia having its biggest fire on record. And the weather's not helping. The persistence of this weather pattern has meant the wind's been blowing in the same direction for days, and it's set to do the same. In fact, it's bringing this pall of smoke down across the eastern US, right down towards the Carolinas, and there's no immediate improvement. Canada has already lost an area the size of Belgium to fires this year. A warmer and drier than normal spring could lead to its worst wildfire season on record.
Western United States has seen a quadrupling of area burns since the 1970s. Canada has seen a doubling of area burns since the early 70s. And this is largely, not solely, but largely attributed to human-caused climate change.
A recent report from the UN warns that an extraordinary increase in devastating fires like these could lead to what it calls a global wildfire crisis.
The deluge of water released from the dam in Russian-controlled area of southern Ukraine has sparked fears of widespread flooding as local residents are being urged to evacuate the area immediately. About 42,000 people are at risk from flooding around the area. Images from the scene appear to show an explosion at the dam. It is unclear what caused that explosion. Ukrainian and Russian officials have both accused each other of exploding the dam.
It links the banks of the Dnipro River held by Russia on the south side to Ukrainian-held territory on the north. The dam supplies water to the Crimean Peninsula and the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. The IAEA says it faces no immediate risk. And these satellite images from Maxar Technologies show the aftermath of the dam breach in the Kherson region. Houses and buildings are submerged and water has flooded parks, land and infrastructure. Barbara Angopa reports.
A day after the breach of Ukraine's largest dam, these water levels are still rising. Rescue workers are helping people to move to higher ground from their homes close to the Dnipro River. People here say after the dam exploded, they didn't realize how fast the water would rise.
I kept sitting, hoping that I would stay there, and then the water began to run with such force that, well, my son thought of it. He took a boat from a neighbour, and thanks to this we got out.
Russia and Ukraine have accused each other of shelling the dam. Tens of thousands of people are at risk in Russian and Ukrainian-held areas along the river. The Ukrainian company that manages the dam says it will take days for it to stop releasing large amounts of water. And that water is flooding hectares of agricultural land used to supply the world with grain, sunflower oil and other foods. For now, people are rushing to leave this area any way they can. For some, they're leaving their homes forever.
Our correspondent Charles Stratford is in Kherson. He says people stranded by the floods are still being evacuated.
This is a residential area of Kherson, as you can see, completely inundated with water. The authorities are saying that in its deepest parts it's around 4 meters deep. They're unsure as to whether the water is receding yet or not. But these are people's homes. Thousands of people that lived in this area of the city. There are big concerns by the authorities about mines being dislodged by the floodwater and floating, moving and obviously presenting potential problems to the ongoing evacuation efforts. We've seen a lot of people being pulled out on boats like this, many of them bringing their pets, many of them very distraught indeed. We've had a little bit of shelling, but it hasn't been heavy, it has been sporadic. We know that Russian forces are literally only a couple of kilometers, one would think, around 5 kilometers maybe, in that direction on the other side of the river. President Zelensky says that these floods are a result of an attack by Russia on that dam in order to try and prevent an advance by Ukrainian forces across the river. One thing that this destroyed dam has caused is utter chaos, and there is no one living here now.
It's time to preview what's coming up on Morning Barbados. We have Orlando Hines, who's in the house. He'll be sharing something new for Cropover 2023 before he jets off from Barbados. Also, the Rotary Club of Barbados Save, Spend, Thrive Financial Wellness Program. We have a few of the Rotary Club's members coming through to tell us more about that, including President of Rotary Club of Barbados, Tracy Knight Lloyd. The National Library Service will be having a junior Kadooment band called Once Upon a Time in Storyland, and they will share more on that with us as well. And we also have a few more athletes from the Roger Boys Elite Pro Classic joining us in studio and online to share more about their big wins last weekend. That's all coming up on today's presentation of Morning Barbados. But coming up next, we have more news, sports and weather. Stay with us.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email.
As Barbados hosts the 2023 Caribbean Water Conference, Prime Minister Mia Amor Motley has called for greater regional cooperation on water management. That two-day high-level meeting is organized by the United States Agency for International Development in partnership with the government of Barbados. It opened yesterday at the Lloyd Erskine Sandiford Center. In her address, Ms. Motley called for partnerships as the majority of Caribbean countries are considered water scarce and face similar challenges. Adding it makes sense to have a united approach, the Prime Minister suggested some of the existing agencies could be given mandates which allow them to deal with the water crises.
We have in our midst the Caribbean Institute for Meteorology and Hydrology, who continues to do distinguished work. But we need now to formalize the arrangements and to formally make them, in this 50th year of the Caribbean Community, Deputy SG, the official agency responsible for mobilizing partnership and increasing governance efficiency and efficacy within the region on the issue simply of water. It makes no sense for each of these countries to be fighting these battles as if we are alone.
Additionally, Ms. Motley says there are some difficult decisions to be taken and changes needed pertaining to water management.
We cannot afford the luxury of people abstracting water without license, without quantification, without security, and without payment. And the difficult discussions that have to happen in terms of how we change behavior at that level, down to the level of the households, where we need to encourage more of our people to be able to acquire water tanks and conservation devices for the bathrooms and the showers, is absolutely imperative.
Parents of students at St. John Primary School have been given the assurance that the Ministry of Education has the necessary contingencies in place if the children need to be relocated. The school has been affected by environmental problems this term, and the issues were raised at government's St. John Speaks. CBC's Wendy Burke has that story.
The mold found at the St. John Primary School is upsetting parent Deborah Richards.
2 days last week we had teachers on sick outs, allowing the children to go home early. This environmental issue is getting worse. We have teachers, pupils taking sick, falling sick, and this is causing a lot of problems, I would say, as far as the children and their education, because they're missing school.
Director of the Education Technical Management Unit, Francisco Miller, told the St. John Speaks at Gaw Hill that on May 27th and June 4th, there was some cleaning.
We dealt with the prefab unit. We would have had a report that there were mold in there. We brought in an industrial hygienist as well as an industrial cleaner. We would have done the fogging and the sanitizing of the surfaces in the prefab units. We also, I must say that the Ministry of Health is leading the charge on this one, and we will be guided by the Ministry of Health.
He added that air quality samples have been fast-tracked, and before the end of this week, humidifiers will be used in the nursery and reception sections. Prime Minister Motley made it clear that she does not want the issue to lag.
What I want is a clear, continuous conversation with the parents, and let us see how best we can make it possible, because as Minister McConney said, we are sensitive to the fact that too many children have already lost too much time.
Minister of Education Kay McConney says they're working on alternatives should deeper cleaning or relocation be necessary.
And we have identified alternative locations that in the event that we do have to move at this time, that we will be able to look at those areas and move temporarily until such time as anything else that needs to be done.
The MP for the area, Charles Griffith, made it clear that the children will not be taken outside the parish for school.
There's one vacant room, so if the class 4s who number 22, if they have to move, then it is possible that they can be housed at the David Thompson complex. So based on what Minister would have indicated, I believe the cleaning will be enough to handle the issues that are there, but just in case that there's a need for a backup plan, we have that in place. And note, like I said, that they're not moving outside of the constituency, next door at the David Thompson complex and just down the hill at Codrington College.
Agriculture attracted attention, with Paul Bourne of Peg Farm speaking of private sector involvement.
The initiative that we've taken on at PEG is one such initiative whereby we're trying to create a, I've referred to it as a smart rural community development, and centered on food and farming.
Farmer Ras Ayan does banana and coconut farming and believes if people were better paid, they would farm, but also showed how the industry has changed.
Right now, they want to say Rastafari, they're calling it healthy lifestyle. So all the middle class people eating fruits and vegetables, so the life that we give them free, we paying for it now, because the dearest thing is vegetables. When I first was a Rastaman, I used to sell 10 bananas for $1, right? Now one single banana for $1, so I don't got no problem surviving.
Wendy Burke, CBC News.
Thanks, Wendy. June is Gun Violence Awareness Month internationally. And to mark this month, the Tyrese Caesar Foundation Against Gun Violence recently held its inaugural 5K walk and run. The foundation, established after young Tyrese Caesar tragically lost his life to gun violence last June, aims to empower communities, educate young people, and advocate for policy and social changes that will reduce gun violence. Chairman of the foundation, Jacqueline Caesar, says the charity walk was a community engagement event intended to raise awareness for a cause of national interest, maintaining peace in Barbados, particularly among young people and children. Ms. Caesar says the event was a success.
The Tyrese Caesar Foundation Walk was held in recognition of National Gun Violence Awareness Day, which is June 2nd to 4th. Orange was the chosen color as it represents anti-violence. We are indeed delighted by the response of our participants to register for the walk. We had targeted around 250 persons, but we registered well over 350 persons. We attracted a lot of attention along the walk, and we were asked lots of questions, so I'm satisfied with the level of awareness that was raised. From all reports, persons were pleased with the concert and the arrangements made for the walk.
The foundation's chair is appreciative of those who have expressed support for the charity's efforts.
We had the support of Keita Squires of our fantastic warm-up, and Calypsonians, RPB, Mikey, Natalie, Gabby, Serenada, as well as some youth performances from King K, the Multifarious Dance Group, Josh Ox, the Odd Poet, Carmen, Karen Proverbs, Brianna, and Ethan Edie. So those were a number of performances that the youth did for us as well. They were well received. So special thanks to all who participated, and we look forward to next year. Special thanks as well to our sponsors, First Citizens Bank, Richard Moore Trucking, as well as the National Peace Program. Special mention to Savio Walker, one of our hype participants, who specially branded his racing car for the foundation.
Wonderful initiative. Now, Canada has signaled its commitment to diversifying its trade relations with neighboring Guyana. This is in an effort to contribute to the rebuilding of a resilient global economy. We get more in this NCN TV report.
Guyana is Canada's third largest merchandise trading partners in the Caribbean community, CARICOM. In 2021, trade totaled $238.2 million. Exports for 2021 were valued at $38.6 million, and imports were valued at $199.6 million Canadian dollars. But Canadian High Commissioner Mark Borman says he wants to see this grow in the coming years to the benefit of both countries. He is of the view that several Canadian companies are not aware of the opportunities that exist here, something he hopes to change.
I think there needs to be more undertaken both on our side as well as the government of Guyana, and I would argue the private sector of Guyana, who needs to visit Canada, make the pitch, and explain to the Canadian market the opportunities that exist here.
The Canadian diplomat says he has been working persistently with the Canada-Guyana Chamber of Commerce to push for increased trade and investment. In addition to that, he feels that Canadian technology can play a pivotal role in Guyana's development, especially in telemedicine, energy and others.
There already are companies here that are looking at pilot projects to use, for instance, river turbines to provide energy to smaller communities where it would be more difficult to bring traditional landlines and power grid.
The High Commissioner adds that they are working on putting the Memorandum of Understanding signed last year into action. The MOU provides Canadian government guarantees on infrastructural projects. Canada has vast experience in road building, hydropower, deep water ports and other sectors, and Berman wants Canada to be a part of the process of building a modern Guyana. He adds that opportunities also exist for a partnership in the area of food security.
Tributes from the sporting arena continue to pour in for the late Winston Yearwood, affectionately known as Cassius Clay. Yearwood passed away yesterday. Cassius is known to have fought some 111 bouts, including 17 international spells that took place in Canada during the 1980s. This earned Cassius a reputable record of 15 wins and just 2 losses. The last person to battle Cassius in the ring was former national middleweight champion Curtis Killer Miller. Cassius, wearing the gold trunks, and Miller fought 40 years ago in a bout titled Clash of the Century at the National Stadium for the middleweight title. Miller registered the victory. It's time for a look now at our weather. The barometric pressure stands at 1014.7 millibars, and it's 27.63 Celsius outside. The relative humidity is 81%, and the winds are blowing out of the east at 23 kilometers per hour. Present temperature is cloudy with showers. Sea conditions: smooth, moderate in open water with swells ranging from 1 to 1.5 meters. And here's a look at how your tides will roll in today. If you're heading out to the beach, be careful. Now for the forecast. It will be sunny with cloudy periods with a few brief scattered light to moderate showers. And into the evening, clear with cloudy periods with a few brief scattered light to moderate showers. Well, that's today's morning report. Our next newscast is Newsday at 12 noon on TV8, followed by The World at 1 via our radio network of stations on 100.7 FM, 98.1 The One, and 94.7 FM. Morning Barbados starts now.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning. Good morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, Barbados. Good morning. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Morning to you.
It's Thursday, June 8th. Time to wake up, get out of bed, sleepyhead. Time to get moving. Welcome to another presentation of Morning Barbados. I'm Tisha Hines, and I'll be here with you until 8 o'clock this morning. So we have a great show, as always. Lots to get through today. So we're encouraging you to watch, like, and follow us on social media. For those of you across the diaspora, remember to reach out to all those Bajans who were in line for that chefette and tell them they can also get a piece of Barbados through TV8 on YouTube or on our Facebook page. So coming up today, we have someone from there who's here, who will be heading back soon, a Barbadian artist who lives in New York City, and he is here with us. He's going to be sharing his music for the season, and he doesn't only make music in season, he makes music all year long. We're talking about Orlando Hines. He is here to share his brand new track for the season with us, and we most certainly cannot wait to speak with him to to find out what's going on. He does a lot of philanthropic work here in Barbados as well. As a matter of fact, he was here just last year bringing trophies and stuff like that for the Richard Stout Teen Talent Show. So we definitely have a lot to talk about with him. Also, the National Library Service, speaking of Cropover, they're having a junior Kadooment band called Once Upon a Time in Storyland. Sounds exciting. That's because it is. So Richard Boyce, library assistant and band leader for the National Library Service Junior Kadooment Band, will be here to tell us all about how they are pulling that together and why you should get your little ones involved, because we certainly need more children interested in books and reading, even if they're doing it online. We definitely have to continue the legacy, and we here on Morning Barbados make sure that you're fully on top of books, because we also share in the next chapter a wonderful segment every single week, sometimes twice a week, all the great books that are all over the world, not only here in Barbados. So we feature some wonderful Barbadian and regional artists who've written wonderful books, and we also share works from across the globe. We are also going to be telling you today all about the Roger Boys Classic that came off last weekend. We are still in awe at the athletes who participated in the Roger Boys Classic. So we are reaching out and speaking with some of them. Some of them are back home. Others are here in Barbados. We're going to be reaching out to them wherever they are to share more about their triumphs over the weekend. Takes a lot of work for them to be able to get their bodies to that place to compete really on the international scene. Of course, we're here in Barbados, but it was an international meet. So kudos to all of the participants. We're going to give you an update of what's coming up as well. The Caribbean Climate Justice Leaders Academy has a great opportunity that we're going to share with you. So if you're between the ages of 18 and 35, this might be an opportunity for you to jump on and get some much needed training, but it also offers some opportunity for travel and internship at the end. We'll also talk about what's coming up with Q in the community. So lots to get to today on Morning Barbados. The time has quickly moved on to 25 minutes before 7 o'clock. We're going to start today's show, though, telling you all about a great initiative that is coming up on this World Oceans Day. That's right, and we have lots to celebrate on World Oceans Day, if only because we're completely surrounded by beautiful water, the Caribbean Sea on one side, and of course the Atlantic Ocean on the other. The theme of World Oceans Day is Planet Ocean, Tides Are Changing. It is a reminder that despite the fact that the oceans cover most of the earth, little attention is given to the unprecedented challenges being faced by the seas, in which humans rely for a variety of resources, and that is the collective responsibility of all to protect it. Barbados UNICEF Youth Champion Maria Marshall has a message for us.
Did you know that over 70% of the planet's oxygen is produced by the ocean? My little island of Barbados lies in a curious situation. On one side, it is kissed by the Caribbean Sea, and then on the other side, it is pounded by the Atlantic Ocean. You know, we rely on our oceans for our lives and livelihoods. I'm going to tell you 3 good reasons why we should put our oceans first. 3. We need to protect the coral reefs, because with healthy coral reefs, there is more life. That same life generated by the healthy coral reefs generates the food we heavily rely on. You know, everyone would like to see a real sea turtle. One, These coral reefs provide needed protection to small islands like mine when the ocean gets rough and angry. There are zero reasons for this to continue. We need to put a stop to polluting, illegal dumping, and casual littering. These activities can cause death and harm to coral reefs, which will drastically deplete food supplies. It is time to put the ocean first. The ocean is the largest part of our environment. So remember, we only have one environment and we must protect it.
Oh, thank you so much, Maria. So remember, it's our ocean and we must protect it. So make sure you take care of our ocean. And that means no littering. As we move around the country, make sure you keep a garbage bag, a little bag in your car to put all of that extra garbage in. And I would like to see PSVs do it too. I think the only vehicles that you're driving behind these days and you see people throwing things out of the windows are with PSVs. I don't know, I've not seen any private vehicles, but certainly with PSVs. So, you know, be mindful of that, because what we put in our environment, it ends up in the sea. All right, we also have on today's show, as we mentioned a bit earlier, some friends from the Rotary Club of Barbados. They're here to tell us all about Save, Spend, Thrive Financial Wellness Program. And joining us, we have Katrina Alkins, who is a Rotarian, Barbara Treloff-Dean, Director of Rotary Club of Barbados, and Tracy Knight-Lloyd, who is President of the Rotary Club of Barbados. Good morning, ladies, and welcome.
Good morning, good morning. Good morning.
So wonderful to see you today to talk about this amazing initiative, really. Now, the club has launched a Save, Spend, Thrive Financial Wellness Program that you say is focused on educating and, one of my favorite words, empowering socioeconomically vulnerable people in Barbados. I'm going to start with you, Madam President. Lay the foundation for us and tell us all about this wonderful initiative you're undertaking.
Thank you. Good morning, Tisha. How are you?
Doing well, thank you. And you?
Good. I'm good. You're looking lovely in your pink and
Thank
purple.
you. Always so good to see you, Tracy.
Same here, love. Same here, love. I think the foundation really started for this program coming out of COVID. The pandemic, as we know, would have been difficult on many families, especially female-headed households. But what would have exacerbated the effects of the pandemic on many households was the lack of financial literacy and financial awareness. So you had a double whammy. And these findings were supported by an IDB study in 2020 that showed that because Barbadians did not have enough financial literacy, they didn't weather the pandemic as well as they possibly could. So coming out of that, we decided as a Rotary Club to look at ways that we could bolster financial literacy amongst Barbadians. However, we wanted to do this in a really easy and simple way. We wanted to demystify the concept or the myth that financial literacy is really, unattainable. It is something out of the reach of persons, that you need a lot of money to be financially literate. So we came up with the initiative Save, Spend, Thrive, and that's just what it says. You learn how to save, you learn how to spend, and you thrive financially. And that's what we're doing with this program. We're really keeping it simple, easy to use, real life scenarios, as the Bajans would say, real things, so that you can understand and implement in your day-to-day life.
Absolutely is what is needed. Real things. Again, as we said. So Barbara Treloff-Dean is also a director with the club. I know there are certain things that you're doing, so there are various aspects to the rollout of the campaign. Tell us more about it.
So there are two parts to it, really. So to build on what Tracy had said, when we were looking at which communities could really benefit from the program, we approached Marina House and Verdun in St. John, and we looked at designing a program that would be specifically for clients who are looking to get back on their feet, and they would be in what we would call continuing care, so getting back on their feet, and really looking for a number of key pieces, which now touches on the second element, which is what is your mindset, what is your financial healthy mindset, and then what are the principles around budgeting, healthy borrowing, and saving that you need to put in place in order to get back on your feet financially and move forward.
Wow, I know that there's also a big drive in terms of social media. I would imagine this is to get as many people as you can from the vulnerable group you're targeting on board. So tell us more about how you're working to make that happen. Katrina Alkins.
Hi, good morning. Coming up on June 24th, we have a massive program happening. It's free. Let me add that part at the beginning. Let me lead with that. It's free. You can learn about, like Barbara said, borrowing, saving, and spending. It's going to be at the Sagicor School of Business, and it's going to run from 9 a.m. until 4 p.m. We also have a social media campaign running where we are going to be sending out and blasting some tips on how to spend your money. What I learned from the program is that a lot of things that we thought that we knew about spending and saving and thriving financially, I unlearn and relearn. So I think that it can be beneficial to all, and I would encourage you to come over to the Sagicor School of Business, June 24th, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m.
All right. Is there any registration or anything of a sort involved? Or do we listen out for the social media campaign and just jump on, Tracy?
Oh, definitely. We want you to register because obviously we need to make sure we're catering because we will be providing some light refreshments. So we definitely need to know how many people are coming. And you can register right now. The easiest way is to send us an email at rotarybarbados@gmail.com. That's rotarybarbados@gmail.com. Just send us an email saying, I want to register for Save, Spend, Thrive. We'll send you the link and get you all registered. So we want to ask Barbadians, it's open to Barbadians of all ages, basically 18 up to whenever. As long as you are willing to learn, we'll be willing to teach. So we are having that seminar. So once again, if you want to register, you can send us an email at rotarybarbados@gmail.com. Or you can go to our social media pages, Rotary Club of Barbados's Instagram page, or even my page, TK Knight on Instagram, so that you can register. It's simple, it's easy, but we are going to be cutting off registration. We know that the event is on June 24th, but like I said, we want to make sure that it's a comfortable day. It's a comfortable day, but you will definitely have lots of time to register, but we are hoping that by June 18th, we've had all of our participants. One of the elements that I did forget.
Continue, Tracy.
Sorry, one of the elements I did forget to mention is that it's not only a teaching at participants. One of the components that we've included is the mentorship circles. So we'll have breakout sessions where we know that sometimes in a public forum, people are afraid to ask questions out loud. So we're going to have some small, intimate huddles, which we call mentorship circles, where Rotarians who are well equipped in financial management and financial expertise and from their own lives are willing to sit in those small groups and share. So for those persons who may have specific issues that they wanted to bounce off someone or to really delve into, but without addressing it in the large forum, that's how we are going to tackle it. So it's going to be broken down into two aspects, the teaching aspect and then what we call the mentorship circles, so that we're sure that the understanding is there, the feedback is there, the engagement is there, and more importantly, that folks leave there ready to thrive.
Absolutely. Now, we know that financial literacy, this is a wonderful program for more reasons than one. It definitely can help to break the cycle of poverty and lead to really financial mobility for the communities that we're looking to with this particular program. So back to you, Barbara. I know you listed off a few areas that will be covered, but on a personal note, because these things often touch people deeply in a personal way, if only because you guys are Rotarians, so I know it's a personal thing for you. So which of these programs, in terms of the various topics that will be covered to you, will hit deepest, will be most important? And I think it's important to share because sometimes people hear terms like financial literacy and they immediately run away. So that's why we want to make it relatable so they feel like, okay, this is just you sharing what's happening with you and people giving you ideas of how you can make it better.
Thank you. That's a brilliant question because it really gets to the heart of what is going to help you be financially successful. And it really starts with your mindset. That's one of the biggest steps you can take is really understanding. Because if you think about when you first saw a financial transaction in your life, that actually helps model how you think and approach financial planning over the course of your life. So it really starts with an appropriate mindset, understanding yourself and understanding how important and meaningful having healthy financial practices are for you. So once you have that in place and then understand what derails you, set yourself meaningful goals. That's really, really key. Because sometimes people end up with it. I have in my lifetime when I was starting out, too much month and too little money coming in. So it's really interesting, how you approach things and really understanding what are those elements where you are spending too much on what the wants are versus the needs and not really building your financial security and that of your family as well. So that mindset really taps into your budgeting, your healthy borrowing plans, and also your healthy savings. So 10 to 20% of everything you earn is yours to keep. Invest in yourself and your future and your financial security. And these are lessons that many of us had to learn, and myself, I had to learn the hard way as well.
I thought it was just me that sometimes had more month than money. All right. What about you, Katrina? Because, at the core of what happens sometimes, particularly with our most vulnerable people in the communities and the elderly, is we see a number of predatory lenders, or we also see some financial scams as well. Will these things be covered as well in the training or in the engagement? Because this too is necessary to really protect people from predators.
Definitely. In our borrowing session, we are going to touch on the type lenders. We are also going to look at what are the necessities versus what your wants are and help you to categorize those things. We also talk about healthy borrowing, when you should borrow, how much you should borrow. Maybe you should save up instead of borrowing, or try to save up instead of borrowing. So yes, we're definitely going to touch on those types of things in our seminar.
Madam President, you have the final word as we move forward.
Well, this is a passion project for me because, as Barbara said, I too would have had to learn it the hard way. I know people think, well, you're in finance, but sometimes we know better, but we don't have the right mindset to do better. So I want to encourage as many Barbadians to come out and take advantage of this free seminar. It's going to be very simple, very easy to understand. Don't think that anything is above you. Just come out and start to learn and to work to provide a better future for yourself and your children. So that's on June 24th. We hope to see everyone there at the Sagicor Cahill School of Business. Remember to register. Just simply send an email to rotarybarbados@gmail.com or follow our Instagram page or my Instagram page for the link to sign up. And thank you so much for having us this morning, Tisha.
Thank you so much for coming out, ladies. I know sometimes it's a stretch to get up this early. I know you must log on early. So thank you, Tracy Knight-Lloyd, Barbara Treloff-Dean, and Katrina Hawkins. Thanks for your work in Rotary generally. We certainly will continue to share more on the Spend, Thrive, Save, Spend, Thrive financial wellness program. Thanks again.
Thank you.
All right, coming up next on Morning Barbados, we are telling you how the Barbados Library Service is taking books and stories to the road for Cropover.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Affair segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted.
Good morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
This year, the National Library Service will be presenting its 4th Junior Kumant Band at the Botanical Gardens. It's entitled Once Upon a Time in Storyland. We've invited Richard Boyce, Library Assistant and Band Leader for the National Library Service, to come share more about it. Good morning to you.
Hi, good morning, Tisha Hines, and welcome to everyone here in Barbados.
Everybody calls my entire name. I don't know why. There are just some names I guess people have to. Everybody says Tisha Hines. All right.
I apologize.
No, don't apologize. It's okay. I don't mind. I like it. I'm so accustomed. It's from primary school days. People called my entire name. All right. So I'm really intrigued by this band. It's called Once Upon a Time in Storyland. Tell me how things are unfolding.
They're unfurling pretty good, to be honest. Over the last years, the library participated in the Junior Kumant Band from 2014 to 2016. COVID-19 for a period of time. The bands were very successful. They were awarded prizes in the categories of Queen of the Band, Best Historical Band, Brands of Barbados Awards, and the National Independence Award. This year, the team proposed, as you stated before, Storyland. It tells the story of the public library as a provider of stories in all genres for children to enjoy as part of their literacy development.
All right.
This year, the band consists of 6. Okay.
Continue. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay. This year, the band consists of 6 sections. 200 will be participating inside band. Yes, please.
All right. So how can little ones sign up to be a part of this presentation?
They can come over to the National Library Service, any of the locations. But if someone is closer, that's okay. Upon registration, they will pay the $75. That's all the band is. And they will get costume, bus, and lunch.
That's wonderful. Let's talk about the various sections. I know you started briefly, so let's talk about the various sections that are a part of the band.
Okay, well, our first section is Legends. They consist of the Sam Lord and their pirates. Also, we have section 2, the Myths and Tall Tales, the Steel Donkey. We chose that one. And that is the story of a strange beast that comes out at night, where everyone will just hear the chains and the clogging of the hoofs. So that we decided that we will emphasize on this year as well. We also have the Trickster Tales. One of our favorites would have been Anansi, as that is an African folklore. Section 4 are Fables and Fairies, and that was actually the first section that sold out because, as I said, it is fairies. What little girl would have liked to be a fairy? And the boys for that section are also elves. And section 5, Mystery Tales with Who Done It. So that consists of the books like the Hardy Boys, Nancy Drew, that sort of stuff.
And the final segment,
Yes,
segment
please.
6, or section 6.
Yes, the sci-fi. Everyone knows about the Star Wars, so we have actually done the troopers for that section. That solo as well for the boys. That was a big thing for them, and that consists of our 6 sections this year.
Well, it sounds really exciting, and it's great to get a peek at what the costumes look like as well. Tell me about actually pulling it together. It's one thing to come up with a great theme and share about the sections, but we know in Barbados, bands are out at getting the costumes together for a long time leading up to the festival. So talk to us about what's happening behind the scenes.
Well, we work 7 days a week. Even on the bank holidays, we were there at the band house, and it's mainly the staff of delivery, to be honest, and anyone that was willing to help. So although we are still looking for persons to come and help, we greatly appreciate it, as it is coming very close to July 15th. That is the jump up day for that. As well as we're almost pretty finished. It's just mainly like the hand pieces and the foot pieces that we're really waiting on. But slowly but surely we are getting there, and for sure we'll be ready for jump up on July 15th.
All right, 200 children. That's quite a few children to get to with the pieces. When you say we, I was going to ask you, well, who are the we that you're talking about? And I realized that you're talking about some of the library staff actually getting in there. What about the designing of the costumes? They're very beautiful.
Yes, the designer we chose was Susan. She is very, very nice. She is the one that actually came up with all of the designs. With Susan, the band could not have been pieced together because some of us did not have any previous experience putting together an actual costume. But with her guidance, we were able to get it done. And as you have seen the photos, they're pretty colorful. The one that was there just now with the different colors as the mushrooms. So as you can see, as I said, is very, very, very vibrant and appealing to the eye.
All right, I want to thank you on behalf of all Barbadians for keeping the craft going, because these days we don't hear about that many band houses anymore or costumes being made here. That's a topic for a whole other day. But a reminder that they can register by coming to the library and just signing up. It's that simple. Any online platforms where parents can go?
Yes, please.
Where can they go? To the National Library Service?
They can go to our Instagram.
Okay.
Yes,
and they can find the
They can go on our
information.
Instagram and Facebook. Yes, please.
All right. Thank you so much, Rochelle Boyce, library assistant and band leader. That's a big title. So I look forward to seeing you at the Botanical Gardens on the 15th of July with Once Upon a Time in Storyland, 6 sections. Thank you. Have a wonderful day, and I wish you all the best with the band.
Thank you very much, Aunt Tisha. Before I go, can I please mention that we are having a lunchtime lecture on women in culture, presented by one of the historians of Barbados. Today,
When
at
is
the
that
Library
happening?
Town. Today, 12 o'clock.
12 o'clock at the library.
Today,
Okay, well, just send us something quickly and we'll see if we can put it up
Yes,
before the
please.
show ends, okay? All right, again, thank you so much for coming on. Well, the time has quickly moved by. It's time for us to update you on the news.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan of
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning indeed. Time for an update of the news. Now, there are doubts this morning that the social compact can hold out much longer. Professor Justin Robinson, Pro-Vice Chancellor for the UWI Board for Undergraduate Studies, speaking to the CBC Morning Report, says he isn't sure if the private sector and the 48 items which they have in the basket can hold out against the external pressure much longer.
These firms have been holding strain in terms of holding the margins on these items. And it's not clear to me that the government has a policy tool outside of reducing some of its own taxes or other levies on the goods so as to reduce the cost coming to these suppliers. But of course, those reductions in any taxes or levies also have knock-on effects on the government's budget, and the government still has to meet its fiscal targets. So I don't see any win-win solution to this in the near to medium term, and I am not optimistic about measures like the compact holding significantly longer.
The World Bank raised its 2023 global growth outlook as the United States, China and other major economies have proven more resilient than forecast. The World Bank cut its 2024 global growth forecast to 2.4% from 2.7% back in January, citing the lagged effects of central bank monetary tightening. But the bank released a new 2025 global growth forecast of 3%.
I would say the major factor leading to an improved forecast is the reduction in inflationary pressures. The data coming in the last month or two has shown inflation slowing in the major advanced economies. So while inflation is still high, inflation is slowing. What that means is that the likelihood that major central banks around the world, in Europe, the UK, the USA, that they're going to keep increasing their interest rates as a means of fighting inflation. Because as they increase interest rates, credit becomes more expensive, and all of these factors combine to enhance the likelihood of a recession. So the fact that the inflationary pressures are easing, it means that further rate hikes from major central banks appear less and less likely, hence the improved economic outlook.
The professor says despite the lag which the local economy will have, the revised global economic predictions are still good news.
I would certainly expect, and we see it in the report, that the economic growth forecast for Barbados has been revised upwards with the new information. So I think that certainly is an improvement that we will see this year. One of the features we've seen is that the recovery in global travel and tourism has been stronger than expected, so that's quite good for Barbados. We also seem to be getting some momentum in the government and private sector capital works. So I certainly expect to see improvements and momentum to continue on the economic growth front. And I think that is extremely important because the Barbados economy really 2017, 18, 19, 20, the economy recorded negative growth. And then you had the massive hit of COVID. So this recovery in economic growth is just urgently needed medicine for Barbados. So I think I expect to see significant improvements in that area. Now, on the inflationary front, we may not see that improvement in the near term because that really is driven by factors external to Barbados. I mean, people talk about import costs push inflation. We import most of our inflation, and there's going to be a lag before we see those improvements. And how long these private profit-oriented companies can hold to a compact where they're keeping margins despite rising costs, I think is certainly questionable.
Hundreds of wildfires are burning in what has been described as an unprecedented start to the 2023 Canadian fire season. Tens of thousands of people in communities across the country have been forced to evacuate as firefighters battle to contain the blazes that have scorched more than 9.4 million acres so far. The emergence of smoke-filled, discolored skies in parts of Canada and the U.S. that typically aren't affected by wildfires has spurred widespread public concern.
This is not what the skies of New York are supposed to look like. The Lady of Liberty holds her breath as the city vies with New Delhi to be the world's most polluted. Visible from space, the plume stretches for more than 1,000 kilometres from Quebec's eastern forests in Canada to the Blue Ridge Mountains of Virginia in the US. It's prompted air quality warnings for millions of people.
Over 50% of the U.S. population, everything east of Columbus, Ohio, is experiencing levels on the order of 150 to 180, which is an air quality index, suggesting that these are very hazardous levels to be breathing.
At the source of the smoke, in eastern Canada, the situation is even worse.
June is Gun Violence Awareness Month internationally, and to mark this month, the Tyrese Caesar Foundation Against Gun Violence recently held its inaugural 5K walk run. The foundation, established after young Tyrese Caesar tragically lost his life to gun violence last June, aims to empower communities, educate young people, and advocate for policy and social changes that will reduce gun violence. Chairman of the foundation, Jacqueline Caesar, says the charity walk was a community engagement event intended to raise awareness for a cause of national interest, maintaining peace in Barbados, particularly among our youth and children. Ms. Caesar says the event was a success.
The Tyrese Caesar Foundation Walk was held in recognition of National Gun Violence Awareness Day, which is June 2nd to 4th. Orange was the chosen color as it represents anti-violence. We are indeed delighted by the response of our participants to register for the walk. We had targeted around 250 persons, but we registered well over 350 persons. We attracted a lot of attention along the walk, and we were asked lots of questions, so I'm satisfied with the level of awareness that was raised. From all reports, persons were pleased with the concert and the arrangements made for the walk.
The foundation's chair is appreciative of those who have expressed support for the charity's efforts.
We had the support of Keisha Squires of our fantastic warm-up and Calypsonians, RPB, Mikey, Natalie, Gabby, Serenada, as well as some youth performances from King K, the multifarious dance group, Josh Ox, the Odd Poet, Carmen, Karen Proverbs, Brianna, and Ethan Edie. So those were a number of performances that the youth did for us as well. They were well received. So special thanks to all who participated, and we look forward to next year. Special thanks as well to our sponsors, First Citizens Bank, Richard Moore Trucking, as well as the National Peace Program. Special mention to Savio Walker, one of our hype participants, who specially branded his racing car for the foundation.
Well, that's our news update. Our next newscast is Newsday at 12 noon here on TV8, followed by The World at 1 on our radio services 98.1 FM, 94.7 FM, and 100.7 FM. Morning Barbados continues after this.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Affair segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.tv. And together we will travel the world.
Enjoy movies, soaps, drama, comedy, inspiration, education, music, and more. You get it all when you get MCTV, because MCTV gives you more.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our exceptional Bajan youth.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? Then Mornin Barbados would love to feature your book in our The Next Chapter segment. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. That's morning without the G. Come and let us...
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
It's heading up to 14 minutes after 7 o'clock. What are you doing? What are you having for breakfast? I know a lot of us don't have breakfast, right? You kind of just rush out of the house, and with the advent of the hot cups, everybody has a hot cup of something. So what's in your hot cup today? Today I'm sipping on ginger tea. I'm a little husky here, if you recognize, but we have all of these crazy things going on with the environment. So nothing strange. Some people like the little extra something, you know, raspiness in the voice. I don't know, for me it's a little weird, you know. But whatever you're doing, make sure that you stay from outdoors too much. You don't want to be out in that warmness. Have you realized how warm it is outside? And I'm being very conservative when I say warm, because in Barbados we really want to say it's hot, 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 yes? All right, so maybe we have to play that song. Now, our Bajan Afar is near today. Usually we're reaching out and talking to Barbadians who are outside of the island. This one is getting ready to jump on a JetBlue flight and head on back out of the island. But he was here for a big birthday celebration. And lo and behold, he said, while I'm here, let me release a song for Cropover. So let's say good morning to Orlando Hines.
Good morning, Barbados.
Good morning. Good to see you. Good to say, like I was saying while we were off air, it's good to put a face to the voice, because we've spoken on so many occasions, you know, through the years. In my role on radio, and you constantly share music with us here in Barbados, so thank you for that. Talk to me about your life with music, though, because you know you're always making songs. You did a lot of wonderful music during the pandemic as well.
Thank you.
So talk to me about that.
As I always say, I started out in the church, and I always have a passion for music, and every year Cropover comes around, I have to do something to deal with the culture. It's, you know, there's a lot of issues out there going on, and I always like to deal with the issues and put it in song. So every year I have to make a song.
All right,
I
now
have to give my contribution to the Cropover Festival.
Now, you said there are a lot of issues that you have to deal with. This year's issue is this is a party.
That is not really an issue. This is a fun.
I'm kidding. This is a party. Tell me about this song.
Well, whenever I come down here, they're having fetes every place. They're having parties all over the place. Everybody enjoying themselves. And I said, you know, something, that's a song right there. So I put it together. And that's how it came about.
All right, good stuff. How do you share your music when you're not here in Barbados? Because I don't know, your repertoire now is, we have well over, I'd say, close to 20 songs in our system upstairs, in constant rotation, certainly on 94.7 FM, which is strictly dedicated to Barbadian music. So, you know, how do you share your music when you're not here?
I perform, I have a band. We perform all over the place. My music is on Instagram, it's on Facebook, YouTube, all the platforms out there that you can view music. That's where my music is.
Now, when you say you perform all over the place, what do you mean? Tell me more about the band.
We perform Canada, we perform all United States, perform in Antigua, wherever.
Do you
wherever
have
it
any
is.
particular type of music that you prefer to perform? Is it a Caribbean band, or have you kind of adapted?
It's a Caribbean band.
You didn't say the band's name.
Focus.
Focus. Okay.
Yeah. I mostly do reggae and soca.
All right. And the band is made up of Barbadians, or is it a mix?
Belize, guy from Belize. It's a mixed band.
All right. So Belize and Barbados all together in one. Now we know Caribbean people tend to find one another. No matter where they are, we kind of gravitate to each other, because even though we're in different little islands across the region, we have so much more in common than we have differences. So talk to me. You also have a music video out for another song called Get Down. This is from last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, there's two videos I put out last year. One called Slow Down, that's a reggae song. That song was written by Mighty Gabby and myself. And Get Down was written by me. And it was produced by the Noise Boys.
All right.
And
so shout out to the Noise Boys.
Yeah,
They
shout out
certainly
to
are
the Noise
doing a
Boys.
lot of work. Talk to me about the production of the music this time around.
This song was produced by Kevin King. And he's one of the guys that, he's a Calypsonian as well. And he produces one.
Technology has made it so much easier to make music and to do collaborations, because you're living outside of the island, and here you are working with local producers to get your music done. Talk to us about the process, people who might not understand how it works in terms of you writing with Mighty Gabby, connecting with producers here in Barbados, getting a finished product to get on air.
First, you have to write the song. Then I always like to rehearse the song, get it right in my head before I go in the studio. Because if you walk in the studio with a song, you got it on paper, you can't ever perform that song right. It's not going to be right. So what I do is I prepare myself, get ready, go in the studio, and it makes it more easier to do the song.
That's interesting. So you learn all the words and everything. I always imagine people in the studio kind of singing off of a paper,
No,
but that
that's
certainly changes my view of how that would happen.
That's not good.
All right, so the most important reason why you were here, you had a birthday on May 29th. He's a May baby. I know some other people who were born in May as well. And you were here, some friends put on a grand celebration for you.
That's right.
So how was it?
It was great. We had people like the Mighty Griner, Pompey, Shirley Stewart. We had a good couple of, Pompey. We had a good couple of entertainers there, and we had a great time. Everybody enjoyed the little show we had there, and it was great.
I know you also mentioned to me in another conversation, and I hope you don't mind that I talked about it, that you also came to participate in the Richard Stout Teen Talent Show last year as well. Tell me about that and how that involvement came about.
Me and Richard is very close, and we talk actually every day.
Wow.
Yeah, we talk. If you don't hear me, he call me, and if I don't hear him, I call him. That's how close we are. And I was asked to come down and perform on the show, and then I got involved in it. I come down every year, actually, to be on the to go to the show. But last year I was asked to participate, and that's what I did.
All right, that is some good stuff. Always wonderful to see Barbadians coming back to Barbados, and more importantly, giving back.
Yep.
Yes, and I know that you give back in a big way as well.
Always.
Yes, it's like you never left.
I'm always here. It's every opportunity I get to be in Barbados, I'm here.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And when you're not here, what are you missing most about home? That long line that we saw outside Bryant Park for some chifette?
No, that's not me. I like cook food. I like my food cooked at home. It's better. That's not me at all.
Cook food? Can you cook though?
Yeah. I come from Hillaby, man, St. Thomas. We cook right alongside the street sometimes.
So people in Hillaby could cook better than the rest of the island?
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that.
Excuse me. I think he's saying that people in Hillaby can cook better than the rest of the island.
No. I'm saying that we as youngsters, when I was young coming up, we used to cook right there alongside the street. And everybody come, no police, doctor, whoever, come around there used to come and eat some of that food.
All right.
So you had to learn to cook.
Some wood fire.
wood fire.
Oh,
That's the
sounding
best
good.
food.
Maybe we need to have a wood fire party. Somebody cue Pong song. Wood for the fire. Okay, I'm done. All right, so let's throw back to Cropover 2022 with that video, Get Down, from Orlando Hines.
Get down, baby, Lando, get down, baby, get down, baby, action, get down, celebrate.
All right, so Orlando Hines, that's the video from last year, setting the tone for what you can expect in 2023. Hopefully he'll make it back for some good Cropover action. But here he is performing his entry for 2023.
We having fun right now. We having fun right now.
Yeah, man.
Oh yeah.
You can stand up there, we doing what we do. Come on, party, come on, bring your crew. It's an all-night jam, we matching up the place. A Caribbean drinks loosen up your waist. This is a party, this is a fete. We gonna party day and night till we sweat. This is a party, a Caribbean fete. We gonna party day and night till we sweat.
We having fun right now.
Yeah, man, we having some fun right here.
We having fun right now. Oh yeah.
Get jump and pass and get on the road. Back it up, make that bumper roll. Let me do we thing and get on like we mad. It's a cultural thing, so let we behave mad. This is a party, this is a fact. We gonna party day and night till we sweat. This is a party, a Caribbean fact. We gonna party day and night till we sweat.
We having fun right now. We having fun right now. Oh yeah.
CBC Groove, get it. Back it up now. Back it up now. Back it up now.
Oh yeah.
Again. Back it up now. Back it up now. Back it up now.
Oh yeah.
Jamming down to the soca now. 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 This is a party. This is a fact. We gonna party day and night till we sweat. This is a party, a Caribbean fact. We gonna party day and night till we sweat. Cause stand up there, we doing what we do. Come and party, come and bring your crew. It's an all-night friend, we marching up the place. A Caribbean thing, so loosen up your waist. This is a party, this is a fact. We gonna party day and night till we sweat. This is a party, a Caribbean fact. We gonna party day and night till we sweat.
Jamming down to the soca now.
Yeah, man.
Jamming down to the soca now. Jamming down to the soca now.
Uh-huh.
Jamming down to the soca now. We having fun right now. Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? Then Mornin Barbados would love to feature your book in our The Next Chapter segment. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. That's morning without the G. Come and let us turn those pages together.
Because you love English Premier League, MCTV has got it back. Now you can watch all the games of the English Premier League plus UEFA and NFL on MCTV. Current customers can upgrade to Maxback Extra at just $23. Call MCTV today at 228-6288 to upgrade or come in and sign up for our new service. Football fans, let MCTV get you.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
It's 7:31. This is Morning Barbados. Always good to have you with us and always looking for opportunities to share with you. Now, we came across something that's coming up being put on by the Caribbean Climate Justice Leaders Academy. That's what it's called. So they're asking, do you have a leading role in creating a just transition and amplifying the voices of vulnerable or marginalized groups within the Caribbean? Make a real impact in climate justice now. The Island Innovation Caribbean Climate Justice Leaders Academy is now open and accepting applications for an interactive course which will run from mid-July 2023 to January of 2024 and is absolutely free. Now, throughout the course, you'll be able to acquire the right knowledge, cultivate a network of like-minded peers, and interact to accelerate action, taking your vision and work to the next level. The good thing about it, the top 5 participants will be able to travel in the 2023 United Nations Climate Change Conference, or COP28, as part of a fully funded on-site learning experience in Dubai, broadening the reach and impact of your conversations for a positive Caribbean future. And the application deadline is June 30th. So make sure you go online and find out a little bit more about that. Also, today is Thursday, also known as Q Day. You know this. So today, Q in the community will be heading on over to Frank and Lambert Center by Mill St. George. That's right, for another edition of Q in your community. Q in the community is sponsored by our partners, Banks Beer, Deputy Beer, Guinness, Guinness Smooth, Hanschel Innis, Barefoot Wines, Ryder Hard Wines, Johnny Walker, Smirnoff Ice, Smirnoff Vodka, Black and White Whiskey, Pepsi, Juicy, 7-Up, White Rock Ginger Ale and Soda Water, Atlantic Marketing, Dasani Water, Glacial Ice, the Student Revolving Loan Fund, Western Wholesale, and Swiss Mambo Sauce. Head on out to Bites Mill today. We get started around 11 o'clock this morning. Of course, it's also live on Q 100.7 FM. So listen out and look out for the crew if you're heading out to Q in the community. Kimberly will be there, Jaquila will be there, Cami is going to be there, they're there, and of course members of the marketing team are always there, Danny and Nicole and Alicia and Diane, who all come out to be part of Q in the community. So make sure you get that in, all right? Coming up next, we are taking you back. Not back in time, back in space. We're taking you back to the Wildy Gym and telling you more about the Roger Boys Elite Classic. More of the winners are here with us today, so stay tuned for that. You won't want to miss it. It's going to be a pose down. Muscles. Stay with us.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
24 minutes to 8 o'clock, 24 minutes to 8. If you have to get out the door and you have to be there at 8 o'clock, it's time to make a move, all right? All right, so we're taking you back to last weekend. You know we love to reminisce, but they are still celebrating. They're still on the high. We're talking about the athletes who competed last weekend in the Roger Boys Elite Pro Classic 2023. Quite a mouthful, and what a show it was. Joining us today, we have Danielle Gill, who is Elite Pro qualifier in the over 164 centimeters bikini fitness segment, and she took second place. Good morning and congrats, Danielle.
Morning.
Good to have you here with us. We also have on the phone line Dion Thompson, who is the IFBB Elite Pro Body Fitness winner. Good morning to you, Dion. All right, they're going to fix that so I can hear you in just a bit. So I'm going to go ahead and start talking to, once again?
You can hear me now?
Yep. A Verizon ad. Can you hear me now? Absolutely. All right, so first of all, congratulations. I know it must take a lot of effort to be able to kind of whip your body into shape and live the way that you guys do to be able to compete in this highly competitive field that is fitness and bodybuilding. So talk to me about what first piqued your interest in bodybuilding, and talk about your journey as well, because journey to being pro is a major thing.
It is, and initially I didn't start into bodybuilding for bodybuilding. I actually started just to lose weight in 2015. I had just left a stressful job. I was the heaviest I've ever been, and I just wanted to lose some weight. And I started a program at ABC Fitness Studios, and with a lot of prodding, I still am not quite sure how I ended up on stage. And like most of my comrades, once you start and you develop a love for it, you keep going. And 8 years later, I'm still going. And that's pretty much how it started for me. It wasn't intentional, but it just became, you develop a love, you love to see your body change, you love to see the growth and the challenges it presents, and that's how I ended up here 8 years later.
Wow. How long did it take you to get that coveted pro card?
I would have won at CAC in 2015. And at that point in time, I still didn't realize what was happening. So I could have gotten it there, but I didn't. And then a lot of people think that bodybuilding is a straight path. It's not been a straight path. It has its ups and its downs, and you just have to keep going at it. So I got my pro card last year after I won my category at CAC. And this was in my mind, my first official pro show. And the results were very surprising for me, but I'm very happy because I've worked very hard over the last, I guess it's 8 years, I could say. Yeah.
Wow. She said she was surprised. I wasn't. I was there. I wasn't surprised with the results.
I just wanted to get top 3. I just wanted to show, because I got feedback last year from the head judge as a non-pro level, I need to look a little different. And I took his feedback and I tried very hard to present it. So I was very successful. I was very happy that I was successful to do that. I didn't expect that result, but it was wonderful. I was very happy.
Well deserved. Danielle, talk to me about your journey. You competed in the 164 centimeters and over category in the bikini fitness segment of the competition. So talk to me about your journey with getting ready.
Honestly, as I said, I only started last year, and I found this prep to be much harder than last year because I felt like there was so much pressure on me. But I would say this journey is very rewarding. Being on stage is the reward, because honestly, how many people can put their bodies through that, or their mental state through this, to be on stage just for a few seconds to show the work that you've done for maybe years or months, but the journey is definitely rewarding.
All right, but was it the same case with you, where somebody said, you would make a great fitness model, or were you just in the gym, into athletics? How did it work out?
I was into athletics first before I left Barbados. I got into the gym while I was in Dublin, Ireland for 3 years. And while over there, people back home were like, when you come back, you have to be, you have to enter the show, you have to be bikini fitness model, you have to do this. And I'm like, where are they seeing this? I don't see it. And then when I came back, I went for it, and then COVID happened, and I couldn't do it at all. And I was devastated. And then last year, I was asked multiple times again, and I went for it.
All right. Tell you what, I am told that Danielle is on. Danielle Houghton, who is the IFBB Elite Pro Men's Physique winner. So let's go right ahead and say a special good morning to Danielle. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
All right, good to have you here with us. You're calling from Jamaica, so I know the time is a little different. That's okay. So we give you a pass on that one. So let's hear a little bit about your journey, because I know the journey is a little different for men.
Yes, it is a little bit different. My journey for bodybuilding began at the age of 13, as my father physically. I've always been in the gym from.
Oh boy, we're losing you a little bit there, Daniel. Let's go again. Let's try. I think it's the connection, but try again.
You hearing me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Yes. All right. So I was saying, my journey began at the age of 13. My father was a physical education teacher, so I've been in the gym from a very tender age, as far back as I can remember walking. So, I participated in many different sports, but over the years I realized I had a greater love for bodybuilding, as I was a small person and I got picked on a lot. So I decided to take the gym as my way to get a bit bigger. See if that was a way I could defend myself. So over the years, I've trained up until the age of, say, 18, 19. I realized that there was a way to actually be very competitive. So I am a member of the Jamaica Constabulary Force as well. So after years of training, I joined the police force, and then I lost all my muscles, every single bit. And then after that, I lost my daughter, my oldest child, and I just took all the energy and all the pain I got from that and went straight into the gym. And the following about 6 to 8 months after that, I did my first local bodybuilding show where I placed second. And then it just continued after that for me. I started doing as much shows as I could, up until about last year, March, now is when I got my pro card in Aruba at the Giovanni Classic. And then I did my pro debut in Barbados at the Roger Boys Classic, where I won.
That must have meant a great deal for you to do your pro debut. I know there were some pretty good looking bodies on that stage, but you came out on top as Elite Pro Men's Physique winner. So talk us through, what it's like to get out there. But I know from the time you hit the stage, you got that feedback from everybody. And I would imagine that you kind of feed off of that in terms of what you do. So take us through the paces of getting on that stage.
It has been a rough 16 weeks for me, due to the fact that I do very long shifts here in Jamaica. I do like 12 hours or 13-hour shifts here. So each day it is very long for me. I have to prepare all my meals and carry with me on the road. And then one of the hardest parts, and I always post this on my stories on Instagram, is I always show my co-workers eating their KFC and their burger and stuff like that. And I'm sitting in the back of the car with my lunch kit eating rice cakes and peanut butter or fish and vegetables and stuff like that. But that was my way of avoiding eating the KFC with them. Yeah. So it's very rough while doing the police work and also trying to prepare for competition. Then I get into the gym for another 3 hours and train. And I also do personal training, so I have clients that I have to train, then go to work, then go back to the gym. So it is rough, but it has been something I wanted for many, many, many years. And I have reached a certain point now where I'm okay. I've become a pro athlete, but for me, I'm I'm very ambitious, I would say.
All right.
And next show would be against the champion.
All right, champion. There you go. So you definitely are defending this body fitness title, this physique title. Dion, for you, is it? What are some of the challenges that you face? Because people would think 8 years in, you're a pro at this, literally and figuratively. So what are some of the challenges that you face in trying to maintain your physique, in trying to stay true to your path and things like that?
I find in this sport, there's a lot of information about men, but there's not a lot of information about women. So within those 8 years, I got really sick. I had 2 surgeries. So throughout that, I'm not a pro at maintaining my body. I'm a pro at rebuilding it now. Because at several points, similar to what the gentleman was saying, you lost all your muscle and you had to rebuild. I had to do that 3 times. So when I say my path was not straight, my path is never straight. And I'm older. And as you get older as a female, it gets harder. So it is mainly just try to remember what your end goals are. And similarly, you can't eat everything that you want. And females need to be aware of that as well, that it's harder for us. I mean, most guys can start and do 4 weeks and lose 10 pounds, and we do 4 weeks and lose 4 pounds, and it becomes challenging. So,
if you reach 4.
listen, when I'm training Roman, I'm like, just go away from next to me, because he's dropping away and I'm there like having to pull every single thing out. But the main thing is just to maintain your mind, your end goal, and that drives you to stay focused and stay disciplined. And similarly, you pack your meals, you plan. Bodybuilding is all about, and maintaining your body is all about preparation and planning and, meals, timing, gym, everything. And it results in you not having really a life outside of it. I call it my second job. And then afterwards, you then hope that you still have friends and family afterwards, because it requires that level of focus. But that's mainly how you have to prepare for it.
Yeah, Danielle, you've been here smiling and nodding in agreement. You're like, you are absolutely saying everything that's on my mind.
Yeah, like I haven't even been doing this a full year, because I only started late last year, and everything she said literally resonates with me. Like, I've had 2 injuries so far. I haven't even started back prep as yet because of one of them. This prep was so hard because of those 2 injuries and the support with the family. I mean, you're moody because you're not having carbs. You have to explain, okay, I might be moody today because I have no carbs, so that nobody talks to you. It's a lot. You have to walk with your meals, because while your friends are having their KFC or their Burger King or whatever, I'm on the cruise having water and a rice cake and peanut butter, or tilapia and rice, and everybody's staring at me. Like, it's hard. It's another job.
So you truly were agreeing with everything Dion was saying. Now, Danielle, you thought I was referring to you when I said Danielle, because the names are so close, but you wanted to weigh in as well, because you're the one who started this rice cakes and peanut butter thing, and now has it going through my mind. Danielle is just there relaxing.
No.
Yeah, I told you started the whole rice cakes and peanut butter thing.
It is to prep with, especially the mood swings with not having any carbs at all. I know how that I tend to get very miserable on the job, which is not very good as a police officer. So what I normally do is I interface less with persons during my prep.
All right. The only question left for me to ask for you then is, you said that you worked to get muscles all those years ago so that people would leave you alone. It obviously works. Here you are, you're a police officer, so people stayed all the way away and and now again, congratulations to all of you. Yes, congratulations to all of you. And I want to get from each of you, there might be young people watching, I know Danielle in the studio is pretty young, just back from school overseas. And Dion, she said, as an older lady, but we don't believe it because you don't look it.
I can tell you.
And then, of course, you, Daniel, who started very young because your dad is a phys ed teacher. I'm going to start with you, Daniel, just because you are further away. Tell me, what would you say to someone who's young, who's looking on, about the benefits of living your life this way?
There are multiple benefits. I would start with the discipline that bodybuilding requires and the consistency. As a young person, you can use that and transfer that over to your personal life, into your job. And if you are consistent and disciplined like you are in bodybuilding, most things will work out for you. That's just how I do it, in terms of how I grow my kids, how I perform work. I use that same consistency and discipline that I have to use in bodybuilding for the rest of my personal life. And a lot of persons may not make a lot of money from bodybuilding at first. So people, especially here in Jamaica, they don't lean towards bodybuilding because it's not the first choice to actually make money. But over time, I would tell a lot of young people, say, over time you can make money from bodybuilding, a lot of money too, especially here in Jamaica where there is not much of a market for bodybuilding. So for me, it's new here. So I would tell a lot of young people that it is something that they can venture off into and grow themselves and their personal lives.
And then, of course, there are numerous health benefits to it as well. When you look at yourself, having built that body really from the ground up, what goes through your mind when you look at yourself? Because people looking on are in awe. So on a daily basis, are you in the mirror looking like, look at me?
Yes, the mirror saying, look at me, look at this skinny young man. I do not see what everybody else see, and that's the honest truth. I do not see it. Yeah. I do not see it. I rely so much on my coach when it comes to how I look, because my eyes are, I guess I'm used to myself now. So all I see is that same skinny boy from age 30 picked on. That's all I see. It's not what I want it to be as yet, maybe. So I'll just keep working.
When you look at that picture that was on the screen, you see the skinny boy?
The same skinny boy. I've been I've had that shape from a tender age, so it's not really. It's the same shape to me. But I'm just guessing. I just rely on my coach to say. He says you're okay. I said he said okay, you're okay. I'm like, I'll work with what you say.
My people are playing the crickets for you. They don't believe you. But don't worry, those are all fellas in the back that are jealous. Especially one named Ruel. He's jealous of that body. Jealous. All right, what about you, Dion? Do you see what we see when we look on? This just awesome physique that you've told us now that you've rebuilt on 3 different occasions.
Yeah, I can understand where he's coming from, because like I said, when I started it, I was overweight. So sometimes you don't see your body different. Like, I'm looking at these stage photos and I'm still like, I can't believe that is me. Right? So I understand exactly what he says. But the benefits of it is that I find at my age, and I have no problem saying my age, I'm 45. It allows your body to be strong. I tell people I prefer to be sore from the gym than sore from, I don't want to say old age. I see people closer to my age not doing well health-wise. I don't have any health issues. Being in the gym and working out allows me to be fully healthy and functional. I mean, closer to competing or closer to stage, it may not be the best, but the overall lifestyle allows you to maintain your body at a healthy state. And to me, that's very invaluable. People underestimate the benefits of having a strong body, and especially as females, I find, and I will always say females because like I said, I see a lot of information about men, but there's not a lot of information about women, and it is really beneficial to just keep your body healthy and moving every single day. It doesn't have to be to our level, but it needs to be part of your lifestyle.
All right, so you heard from the IFBB Elite Pro Body Fitness winner, that's you, Dion, and the IFBB Elite Pro Men's Physique winner, that's you, Daniel Houghton. And now we're to Danielle, who's really just starting out her career in the bikini fitness segment. This must be a great deal of inspiration for you. So do you see a career in it going forward? Is this something you're going to continue doing?
Most definitely. As Dion said, once you start, you get hooked. And I feel like I am hooked, like I'm addicted to it. I'm actually going to be preparing for my next show, which is in about 2 months. And just to stem from what Dion and Daniel were actually saying, in this sport, it actually teaches you to be consistent, to be disciplined. Stay disciplined is something that I actually preach a lot. It's actually my slogan. I'm also a personal trainer, so it's part of my business. It's everything. It encompasses everything that I stand for. So this journey, this course, it allows you to stay disciplined. What I would tell young people is that get in the gym. Do what you have to do. Even if it's not to like grow muscles or be a bodybuilder, get in the gym. It will help you in the long run.
All right, I want to thank you. Definitely some great words of inspiration, and wonderful to see all of you this morning. Continue on. I'll be at the next show. Have a good one.
Thank you.
All right, and to you, Sir Policeman. That's what I'm supposed to do, Sir Policeman. Have a great day. Thank all of you for sharing with us. Hey, we're going to take a quick break and come on and wrap up today's presentation. Stay with us.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Because you love English Premier League, MCTV has got it back. Now you can watch all the games of the English Premier League plus UEFA and NFL on MCTV. Current customers can upgrade to Maxback Extra at just $23. Call MCTV today at 228-6288 to upgrade or come in and sign up for a new service. Football fans, let MCTV get you back in the game.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
On the Fresh Friday version of Morning Barbados, Mix It in 5 with DJ Chili. He's going to mix down in 5 minutes. You get to list the songs that are in there for a prize. The Power of One, a new segment brought to you with the compliments of C.O. Williams Construction, where we talk to people who embody the theme, moving the earth to please. And it's a Fresh Friday, so fresh performances and more on what's happening for Cropover. That's it from us for today. So have a great rest of your day. Remember to wear your smiles and come on back tomorrow for another episode of Morning Barbados. Bye-bye.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up.